It is a wonderful Wednesday. Most of the people in the South have thawed out and have some great weather. And so I am so excited to be here with you today. This is Food for Thought. Sherry Chester, your host. Women in Leadership. It's all about helping you win in life, wanting to help you win in life. Isn't that just the best concept ever? So in the midst of today's talk, we want to talk about spiritual investments and the ones that you have, the ones that God has given you to accentuate and to work on even more because He has given you great opportunities. So you're like, what type of investment options do I have? I am really glad you want to know that. And so we are going to talk about two of those today. But before we talk about those two, first of all, I just need to say thanks for the 3,000 plus likes and followers on Facebook. You all are amazing, amazing, amazing. So I would ask you if you would go ahead and get your friends to like at Sherry Lynn Chester, and here's why. We're all about helping people win in life. And so if they jump on and they hear these things repeatedly, their lives cannot help but change because we're providing content that helps you improve every day and in every way. So I'm super excited about that. Thanks again, making you aware that you can also find the copy of Vision, where Vision and Action collide, at sherry-chester.com. But back to these investments, because this is super important. The first thing we're about is individualized experiences. This is what people are craving. It's what they're expecting. And if you want eternal rewards, if you're wanting to make a difference now and later, the way that you a real natural perspective. When you go to the grocery store, there are now pre-prepped meals. You can go to the deli and get it. You can order your clothes online. And every time that you order something online, they're asking, what are your interests? What do you prefer? So see, in the natural, we understand what that looks like, right? We understand what an individualized experience looks like and feels like. Because you're wanting to win in life and help make a positive impact on other people, make sure that you are individualizing their experience. So that's the first thing that we do. The second thing that we do, we're going to come back and break this down a little bit. The second thing that we want to do is meet a person at their point of need. Meet someone at their point of need. You see, it doesn't matter what you know or what you can do or where your life is comfortable. It matters how we can help someone else. And so the first way that we invest well spiritually is that we make sure that we are able to hear and actively listen to what people are saying. And you're like, okay, that's not so hard. Well, it's a little bit more difficult than what we think because so many times someone is talking and we're already figuring out how we're going to respond. Ease up, put on those brakes, listen. The way that we invest in other people is we stop for the one and we make certain that we are hearing what they're needing, what they're desiring. And so many times people are just truly wanting to process. Now, part of what is super important for you to know about today is that there are 5 ways to compound interest here on earth and for all of eternity. And you're like, okay, let's bring this on. So the first thing that you can do, give positive words. both written and spoken. Check out the people who are in your life that their office or their home is surrounded with word art. Are they the ones that always put the sticky notes everywhere you look? These are the people who need words of affirmation from you, either verbally or being written. This is important. So make sure that you're looking for how you can meet the person where they're at. Okay, the next thing, and I tell you what, I got quickened just now to go back to number one. Usually the people that need the written words or the spoken words are oftentimes people in leadership. They are needing words of validation. They may know that they're doing the right thing. They may be hearing from God, but there is this element of being able to hold on to a word someone has given you, whether it was spoken or written. So this is a great way to communicate with the leaders in your life. Check it out and see, but more than likely, they are really hungry for words of affirmation. Look at how you can grow and glow simply by encouraging someone else. And keep in mind, you don't have to broadcast that you did. That is how you will really grow exponentially. Okay, number two, do something in a really practical way. Look for the mothers and the dads in your life that are overwhelmed, people that have so much going on that, my goodness, if you stopped by and got their dry cleaning, if you took their kids to go get a yogurt, if you would just even stop by in the driveway and be willing to listen to a child read. So many times it's not how long, they just need a little help. If you are long distance from some parents that you know need help, one of the things I plan to do this week is I am going to make sure I hop online and I listen to my grandkids read a story. You know, these AR points are such a big deal. Step in there, whether it's grandchildren or a parent at church or a coworker that has some kids, jump in there and help in a really practical way. And you're like, oh, I've asked and they don't want help. Of course not, silly. They are not going to admit where they need the help. If you see it, reach out in a practical way. Because let me ask you this. How many times has someone said to you, how can I help? And you're like, oh, I'm okay. And you list 50 things and you're really not okay. All right, how we win in life is we learn to ask for help. But today we're talking about how to invest in other people. And the way we invest is find that thing that you can do that's 5 to 15 minutes for them, a half hour or an hour. Set your limits so that you can do other things well, but make sure that you're giving. All right, now I love this next one. Pick up a little something to give and share. And you're like, I don't have the money. I'm out of work, or I'm on Mr. Budget. You know, if you're a Dave Ramsey follower, Mr. Budget has been speaking to me a lot lately. But you see, it doesn't have to be expensive. I'll give you an example of two ways that people have shared with me this week, actually three, in a very unexpected manner each and every time. One of my daughters came over to shovel snow out of my driveway earlier this week. She was like, I know it's concerning you that your car is on the side of the road. I was like, I would have been okay. And she's like, I know, but I know you, and I want to shovel enough snow to make sure your car can get in the driveway. Super good, super easy. Then the neighbor next door saw the tracks and then came over and just cleared the whole driveway the following day. Yesterday, someone showed up and they said, my son was really wanting us to make chocolate chip cookies, and we did, but he wants to make sure that you have several. And there was this little plastic baggie of chocolate chip cookies. You see, it's not so much in how much something costs. It is all about making sure that you stop for the one that God has put on your heart. A fourth way of investing that is just so critical, is nothing said of like spending time together. And we have to be purposeful in how we spend time with people. Find out what they want. I don't know how it happened, but in the transition from Texas to Tennessee, I managed to get 4 of my grandchildren hooked on a Hallmark movie every now and again. And so even recently, the youngest grandson was like, "Can you just come over and can we watch a movie together?" Because he's a snuggle bug. You see, it is okay to schedule in time for other people. So many times we think, I can't do this. I'm a busy person. Well, first of all, in order to win at life, I want to help you to be fruitful rather than busy. And then secondly, anything that's important to you is something that you'll schedule time to do. The fifth way that you can give great investments is side hugs go a long way. You know, people just have been isolated so long that an appropriate hug that does not violate their personal space is a great way to just reach out, because this isolation thing has done a number on people. It has made them wonder about their self-worth and their value, and nothing about that is great. So let's make sure that we can love people in these different ways and invest in their life. So I want to make sure that we're recapping in case you've joined in a little later. Okay, so individualized experiences with people. People crave it and they expect it in the natural, but you know what? They want it in the spiritual even more. Meet a person at their place of need. Typically, if you listen to someone talk 2 or 3 minutes, they have either shared with you something that they're interested in, something that they're looking forward to, something that they're concerned about. Because out of the mouth, people are speaking what's in their heart. So be a good listener. We talked about being a good listener. And then go through these 5 ways that you can give into others compounded interest. Because, you know, it's been kind of easy during this whole global pandemic that started out in 19 and totally absorbed 20 and seems to be holding on in 21 some. It has had a way of making people selfish. But I want to remind you that the best way to grow spiritually is to help other people. So those 5 ways that we can have compounded interest. Remember, leaders especially seem to need the written and the spoken word. Give it to them. If the person has word art all over their house, they are someone that likes affirmation, those positive words spoken. Do something. Help in a real practical way. Read to someone's child. Pick up something for them. See if you can just take them a meal. And you don't even have to take a whole meal. And if you're not a cook, there's carry out and deliver. Just order it and send it to them. Say, hey, this will be coming your way. Check their schedule. But there are ways to do something. Remember, pick up something, it can be from the dollar store. I'm telling you, people that love gifts, it's the thought behind it. They are so thrilled that you took the time to think of them, that it is easy to love on people when you will just listen, watch, and observe what they really need and want. Remember, nothing says love like time spent together. You know, I talk a lot personally about margins of time. I want you to be able to build that time into your schedule for other people. And you're like, well, don't you know how much I have to do? Do you know that your future happiness and joy rests upon your ability to pour into other people? If you haven't done it in a while, I'm encouraging you, do something today that gets your mind off of your sweet self and everything you need to do and on to someone else. You'll be super glad you did. Remember, side hugs go a long way. During this time of isolation, people are desperate. They are desperate for fellowship and just the physical touch that says, hey, you're okay and you're on your way. All right, so your personal impact drives your work, ministry, and family time. I need you to know that. Your particular personal impact is what is driving your work, your ministry, and your personal time. And you're like, I don't know if I believe that. Well, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not, but you're having an impact every moment of every hour of every day. The question is the impact something that's substantial? How can you be more fruitful? All right, and then I love this. I think we need to just make sure that this is the mantra by which we live. Refuse to shrink back because something may take extra work and effort. God told Adam, he was like, go and work the garden. Work is not a punishment. We were meant to be able to thrive. This is more than a survive. Work is not your enemy. So make sure that if you're dreading something, you just tell that to be quiet, shake that off. And I think that is probably the very best thing you could possibly do. All right, so once again, I want to remind you of a couple of things. Check in this Saturday, Saturdays with Sherry. Harley Kate, a young teen leader, is going to be with us. I'm so excited. Also, make sure that you're making your calendar known about what's going on the second Thursday night of every month. It's Conversations in Leadership. Role of faith in your leadership is the March topic with Latasha Davis, Sabrina Williams. I can hardly wait because I think it's going to be super duper awesome because these women are powerhouses. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go. It's Women in Leadership with Sherry Chester. And remember, above all else, what we're talking to you about today is winning in life. As women in leadership, we do not have to be feminist. It's not all about this, by golly, we're going to get our place. What women in leadership really represents is living our best life in a way that we are winning every day and in every way. That's what I want for you. That's my prayer for you and my hope. Until I see you Saturday morning at 9 a.m. with Harley Kate, I bless you with the ability to listen to other people well. I pray that you are able to embrace how you may help at least one person every day. And then as you do, I'm also praying that the joy of the Lord will just absolutely overwhelm you and overtake you. Remember, you are a woman in leadership. You were created to win in life.